Andrew Seidel is a constitutional attorney at the Freedom From Religion Foundation, and he's the organization's Director of Strategic Response. He's also an extremely active blogger, and this week he published not one, but 2 posts dealing with the encroachment of religion into our secular government.
Scott Pruitt, the head of the EPA, is a theocrat. He has used his office both at the EPA and when he was Oklahoma Attorney General to promote his personal religion. He tries to put his religion into law. And my question was, does that make him more likely to violate other rules? You know, if he thinks the rules don't apply to him, he can promote his God however he wants, maybe he doesn't think other rules like ethics rules or criminal laws apply to him as well. And the more I started to think about this, the more I started to realize, you know, this is kind of a theme we've seen here at FFRF battling these theocrats over the decades. As we started thinking about this and brainstorming around the office, a lot of names started popping up. Roy Moore is an obvious example of a theocrat who's gotten in trouble for other reasons as well. Larry Craig famously got in trouble for his wide stance in the bathroom, but he was also misusing campaign funds for a long time after he was out of office. And he also promoted the idea that this was a Christian nation and even tried to amend the US Constitution to include that. So again, you have this theocracy and criminality kind of united. Kim Daniels down in Florida had some campaign finance issues. The Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, is awaiting trial for fraud. Then we name a few others in the blog I wrote as well. The names kind of just kept on coming. There are a lot. I'm not saying that this is a definite link, and I could certainly be the victim of confirmation bias here. I just thought it was really interesting and something that needs further research, and maybe there's an academic out there who wants to take a dive into this. But it does make sense. If you think the First Amendment doesn't apply to you, and that's the supreme law of the land, why would you think all these other laws apply to you?
The second posting has to do with Bible study in the U.S. Capitol.
Ralph Drollinger is a former basketball player. He played at UCLA, and he runs now Capitol Ministries, which is a ministry that is directed at legislators. He tries to get into all the state capitals and into Congress and the White House to run Bible studies and promote his God. Drollinger runs the White House Bible study, and when we heard about this a couple years ago, it raised a lot of issues for us. This seems like a significant state church problem. So we immediately went and sought all the records we could using the Freedom of Information Act. And we submitted FOIA requests to all the different departments and are still awaiting those records. But the Housing and Urban Development Department actually denied our records request flat out. So we had to sue Ben Carson's department for refusing to even give over those records. And you have to wonder what they're trying to hide. I mean, this is a serious state church problem, and Drollinger just did an interview with the BBC where he specifically says, I'm all for state church separation. I just think there's a difference between institutional separation and influential separation. And that's completely detached from reality. There's no real way, at least that his Bible study functions like that. And in the future, I'm actually going to start digging into the Capitol Ministries' finances, I think, because we've had a few tips that there might be some discrepancies and incongruities there that need to be looked into. These 2 stories have something in common. You've got people at high levels of government with high influence who think they're above the law, and that's what FFRF is here to fight.